Welcome to another video from Gweilo 60. Today I'm going to be talking about, is it a good idea to retire to China? And this is complicated. First off, you have to understand that if you have no ties in China, then I wouldn't even dream of it. I have sort of an in because my wife is Chinese. I have Chinese family in Bobai, Yulin, Nanning, Binyang. So I sort of have a group of people that I rely on as family and friends and such in China to help me through my daily activities. Not every day where, oh, I need you to help me shop, or I need this, or I need that. But, you know, as companionship on holidays, you know, we will go to Binyang on a holiday and hang out with cousins and Wei Feng's aunt. We'll go to Bobai and we'll hang out with cousins and nephews and nieces, and those are the cute girls on my Facebook page, the little ones. They're just pretty. We go to Yulin and we pick Lidza with my sister-in-law and her family. You know, so I've seen foreigners come over here looking for love in all the wrong places, and I guess they're the lonely hearts that they see it's possible because they see other people that have had sort of good luck. I'm getting off topic here, but might as well say it now. That have had really good luck, like myself, meeting my wife Wei Feng 14 years ago. We met. 14 days later she was in Canada. 14 days or 15 days after that we were married, and that's over 14 years ago now. You know, and we come back to China. We're compatible. We like our families. We like our friends. You know, so for me, retiring in China was a good thing. That said, you can get enough of China. China can be frustrating at times. And like in 2015, 2016 winter, we went to Arizona for 3 months, November, December, January. And that was a good change. But as soon as February hit, we were on the road again. We went back to Canada, jumped an airplane back to China because, you know, I miss this place. This has become home for me. It's weird, but I like the chaos. I like as Andrew says, an Australian guy. He says, why do you come here? He says, I love the chaos. It's just like nuts. Yeah, well, you know, that's part of it. The food, the culture, learning new things, being able to travel to different countries from Southeast Asia, from China, very inexpensive. So if you're looking for retirement, if you're 75 years old and you retire, don't come to China, because there's really not a lot here for you. If you're 50 some years old, like I was when I retired, and you have ties and family and friends and stuff in China, then yes, and know some of the language and can eat the food and handle the weather, the heat, then yes, China is a great place to retire to. But as I said, not forever. You have to take a break. You know, we've gone to Thailand, we've gone all over the place. We've gone to Mexico and we've gone to the States. We go back to Canada, you know, so I think retirement, if you say, should I retire to China? Well, that's pretty absolute. I don't think anybody should retire to one place. I think they should retire with the idea that, oh, I have many options and I can go do this, I can go here, I can go there, but not just in China, because, you know, it does rag on you a little bit at times. Everybody has bad China days. I have bad China days. Wei Feng, my wife, she's Chinese, she has bad China days. Wei Feng's father, he has bad China days. Most older folk, and you're not going to retire before you're, say, mid-50s. I was 54, 53 when I retired. But most people that have thought about retirement or are in a position to retire, sort of, they're not dummies. Retiring to a country where you don't know the language, you don't know the food, you can't order a cab, you can't get a hotel room, you can't talk to a person on the street. How are you going to eat? Where are you going to eat? Where are you going to go? See, all of these, that brandy is making me burp again. My goodness. But, so you have to use common sense when you're dealing with retirement. A Canadian retiring to Arizona for the wintertime. Well, yeah, I know lots of Canadians down there. I have friends down there. I know what it costs to live there. I can talk to the people. I can go to the restaurants. China, no, not so much. So it's more difficult. Life is difficult here, and it really is. So you got to be a little bit thick-skinned to live in a place like this. Like today, it's only 33 degrees outside, but it's 94% humidity, which gives it about a 41. And if you look behind me or over behind the camera, there's a fan going straight on me, and I am still under my shirt. I am just dripping sweat. Yes, 3 showers a day, and Wei Fong has to wash 3 sets of clothes every day for Gweilo 60 because I'm a pain in the ass. Is what I am. I'm sitting here thinking about why should anybody retire to China, and I have no idea. Like seriously, I've been coming to China for 14 years now. I live here full time. I still have no idea. Oh yes, my wife comes from here. And you know what? She's the #1 reason why I live in China. This is where her friends are. This is where her home is. When we met back in 2003, yeah, she was a poor person, but when I met Wei Fong in 2003, I was a poor person too, and together we actually clicked and we set up business and we made money. We worked hard, and 11 years later we retired. Well, 10 and a half years actually later we retired. And we retired back to China, but not just to China. We still had properties in Canada that we sold last year. And then we bought another one on Vancouver Island last year. And the year before that, we went to Arizona for the winter. And over the time that we retired, we've been in 8 or 9 different countries. So we didn't just retire to China, we retired to a life of adventure, a life of something that we understand in China or in Canada or in the States, and then we take these little excursions off to different places, which I think that's what retirement is. Should I retire to China? Well, that's sort of a screwed up question, because no, you should never retire to one place. You should retire to having adventures and fun. If you like to go to the lake, well, the lake is good in the summertime. In the wintertime in Canada, it sucks. If you like to travel around the world, then one place isn't going to do it for you. If you like to go to Arizona in the wintertime and hang out in an old folks park like we did in 2015-16, and I had more fun. I've never seen Wei Fong smile so much. Yeah, then that's part of retirement. But yeah, the question, should I retire to China? No, you shouldn't. And the reason I say this is there's language restrictions, there's food restrictions, there's just culture restrictions. But what if I meet a really cute Chinese girl? Well, I did. But I did it 11 years before I retired, and then I retired. So I already had ties in China. I already had friends and family in China. I had a home in China that I'd bought. I had bank accounts and all of the stuff that goes along with living in a place or retiring to a place. Where if you're 65 years old and you say, oh, I retired last month, I'm going to move to China and retire there. Well, that's unrealistic. That's not going to happen. And if you do try it, it's not going to work out. You see a lot of the younger guys, Serpent South African, got to be tough coming from South Africa. Law 86, Prozzy. I wish they could cut that stuff outside. It's just driving me nuts. Prozzy started watching Austin, a guy from the States, today. A teacher. So all of these guys are younger folk, and they're working, and they're not retired. These guys are living a life in China, which is different than retiring in China. What I'm talking about now is retiring in China. I know an 80-year-old guy that's retired here in China, and he hangs out, and yeah, he's still alive. He's doing good. But other than that, I don't think he's happy. And it's not a good life. You have to have family, friends, you have... Cutting some type of metal, I guess. You have to have family. You have to have family. You have to have friends. You have to have something to do. You have to have a home. If you don't have a home, then rental units, hotels. I see a lot of the old guys that come over here living in hotels and stuff. I don't think I could do it. Eating out, restaurant food every day, my cholesterol level would go through the roof. But more than that, you need family and friends. So if you're 65 or 70 years old and you want to retire, don't retire to China unless you've already built a base here, because that's what makes life worth living in a country like China. Then once you've got that base here, that's fine. Then you can travel to Thailand and Singapore and Japan, Vietnam, Laos and Myanmar, and all these places that are so close to us, and it costs a couple $100 to go spend a week there, or $300 to spend a month there. It's not very expensive. Money isn't an issue when you're in Southeast Asia. But what is an issue when you're in Southeast Asia is being able to talk, being able to get by, order food, get from one place to another. How do you get on a bus when you look at where the buses go and they all have numbers? The numbers are in like real numbers, but everything else is in Chinese. Okay, now which bus do I get on? And this is a 7 million person city, so you could end up in on the wrong side of town. You know what I mean? How do you maneuver? Okay, so I know some of the older boys they stay in the Chaoyang district of Nanning, downtown core, where you've got the McDonald's and the KFC and the Pizza Hut, and you've got coffee places, and if that's what you're looking for, well, that's fine. But it's only good for a little while. Like Mike says, I'm good here for 3-4 weeks and that's it, and then I gotta go. Well, that's because you don't have a base here. You don't have family here. You don't have a home here. So it's okay for a short vacation. Dave, on the other hand, he's rented a place. He's been here for years. He's got a wife here. He's got a grandchild, Lucy. She's the cutest little thing you've ever seen. He has sort of a base here that he's developed over the years that is good, and so he feels at home here. Sure, he goes back to England every once in a while for a little while because he's got family there too. But that's part of being retired, is don't spend all your time in China. Spend, I guess, the majority, if you're going to live here, you're going to live here. And then take these trips abroad to different places, or go back home, visit family, friends, whatever. But I guess the question, should you retire to China? Yes. No. Yes. No. I don't know. It all depends on who you are, what your background is, how tough you are. Can you adapt to stuff that is just way left of center? Because in China, you're going to have to adapt to a lot of things that are just difficult for Westerners to understand. Anyway, that's my view on should you retire to China. As a person that retired to China, oh man. Anyway, if you like this video, again, like, comment, subscribe, and if you see me on Facebook, push that share button, because then more people will see my stuff and it will make me happier. Thanks for watching. Until next time, later.